7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Roll it. Netflix said on Monday that the first season of Bridgerton was its most watched TV series ever, with 82 million subscribers tuning in for at least 2 minutes in its first 28 days on the service. Among movies, the action film Extraction earned the #1 spot. The film about a captured CIA agent was watched by 99 million accounts in the first 28 days, Netflix said. Bird Box, a post-apocalyptic horror film, and the action comedy Spencer Confidential were the second and third most popular films, according to the company. With this in mind, Netflix brings many series and TV shows to watch, and today we are going to discuss that. My name is Brendan Carroll, and I am once again joined by my trusty young ward, Natalie. How are you doing today, Natalie?
I'm doing pretty good, Brendan. How are you?
I am doing fabulous. I think last week I said, or last Monday I said I was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I am certified fresh today, people, so let's get started. So, after going through what I just said about Netflix having some of the most biggest TV series on there and TV shows, what would you think?
I would absolutely 100% have to agree. Literally, if you look at like social media and like what people are watching, everyone talks about Netflix shows and like shows like Lucifer, which is on Netflix, and Sex Education, which is also on Netflix as well.
How was that TV show, actually? Hit or miss?
It was actually pretty good.
Right. I do know that Cobra Kai was originally a YouTube exclusive, and then Netflix bought the rights to it and launched season 3 on there. And they're coming back, I think, in December, sometime in winter or spring. I'm not 100% sure, but the 4th season's coming out. So Netflix has a grip on a lot of TV shows. Though it's kind of weird, actually, because a lot of TV shows before even streaming services started making their own series, there was all these TV shows they would find from just regular TV, and now those TV shows aren't really there anymore. It's like Netflix completely flip and flops movies and TV shows all the time. What do you feel about that?
I definitely would have to agree with that. For example, just The Kissing Booth. That was a pretty good movie that everyone enjoyed.
Haven't seen that one either.
I mean, it was really cheesy, but
That's what I heard, actually. And they made 3 of these films?
Yeah, it was really
Oh
bad.
my God, people.
Yeah.
They're just making the new Twilight movies here.
But yeah, I mean, everybody pretty much enjoys Netflix films. I mean, they're pretty bad, but they're enjoyable to watch.
So what you're saying is, they're bad, everyone knows it, but people are just gonna watch it regardless?
Yeah, pretty much for the joke of it, I feel like.
Just the
almost.
joke of it. And do you feel like you need to watch these by yourself to get if you watch it by yourself, would you think it would be funny? Or if you watch it with a group, it would be really funny, like a watch party?
I feel like it would be funnier with a group of people because you're all laughing at the jokes, but also just you can point out little things that you didn't even see.
Geez, that's just weekends in a nutshell for us. So, anyways, what are some good TV shows on Netflix that you've watched?
I would have to say Lucifer.
Yeah.
Let's go. What other shows are there on Netflix?
You just named a few. Sex Education,
Yeah,
Cobra
I finished
Kai.
watching that. Cobra Kai as well.
Have you watched that?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Good, because I love it, honestly. I think that TV show really got me more into the Karate Kid movies. And I liked the Karate Kid movies before I saw them, but I feel like that just really adds to just the overall atmosphere. And it's just, I love how they're taking Johnny and making him just such a main character. It's so complex. I love it. He's just amazing in the TV show, along with Daniel and everyone else. I feel like they do a really good job. Though his daughter, that's a different discussion for another time.
Nope.
It causes half the problems on that TV show, but we'll get back to that eventually, maybe in another discussion.
Yeah. What other TV shows are there?
Family Guy was on there for a bit.
I don't think it's on there anymore.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like, they just flip and flop TV shows. They had, like, the Dark Knight movies. I don't even think they had all the Dark Knight movies on it all at one point. I think they do it in, like, increments where it's like they will put the first one up, and then, like, 3 months later, they'll take that one off and replace it with the next one, and then rinse and repeat. And there's, like, a lot of TV shows and movies that you can't even put on there. Like, especially, like, Disney stuff. You can't put Falcon the Winter Soldier. You can't put The Mandalorian on there. Those are all locked behind, like, Disney Plus. I feel like the only streaming service that could, like, have multiple TV shows on other platforms would have to be Hulu.
Yeah, like, I feel like Hulu.
There's a lot of stuff on Hulu.
Yeah, there's a lot on there. I will say, though, that Netflix does, like, they have shows on there for a bit, and then they just take it off. I don't know, like, that 70s show, like, they took that off.
They took the 70s show off?
Yeah.
Netflix, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
You're killing me over here.
And then they also, they start a show and then just never complete it as well.
That I've heard as well. Like, a lot of TV shows that they release, and this is just, like, TV in general, it's like, every first season of a TV show, if it's new, that's kind of like their beta, kind of like your test run season. You kind of, the developers, they kind of know what they want to do, but they're getting their feet on the ground and seeing what people like. And if it's not really well received, then they kind of just toss it. If there is a place for it and they could, like, change it, they'll have another season, and so on and so forth. Sometimes TV shows won't even get past, like, a first season. Sometimes the first season won't even get released. I think Anger Management with Charlie Sheen, after he got kicked off of 2.5 Men, he went into that, which is a tragedy. And I think there was, like, he completed the first season, and then the second season, like, had multiple episodes that never even got released because it was so, like, bad, I'm gonna say. I'm not even sure it was that bad. I just think people weren't interested in it. Like, Charlie Sheen got into conflict with, like, the producers of that TV show as well. He actually got a few, like, actors fired from it who were, like, the main leads as well. And it's actually weird because when the Anger Management first aired, it had a really, like, I think one of the most biggest, like, opening night viewings on a TV channel, because I think everyone was, like, wondering, like, where's Charlie Sheen going with this, you know, because he was very known for 2.5 Men. We all know how that ended up, so. And while that episode brought in millions of viewers, the next few episodes just kept going down and down. Like, it started up here and went to just bottom, pretty much.
Yeah, I will say that, like, I don't know, I watched a few episodes of 2.5 Men, but, like, I wasn't, like, really into it.
What? 2.5 Men's the best.
It is a good show. I just, like, never got into it.
The thing is, I feel like the show lost its footing when Charlie Sheen left because, let's be honest, we were all really tuning, like, as much as we love Alan, Jake, and all the other characters, we were really going there for Charlie, you know? Yeah. We were all, like, I'm pretty sure half the viewers can, like, agree, you know? And then when they lost him, like, they replaced him with Ashton Kutcher. And I mean, I thought he was fine, but he wasn't the best. He was, like, I do like how they made him his own character and they weren't just trying to, like, replace Charlie. And I'm pretty sure if they did that, Charlie would have honestly murdered someone at that point. If you have some spare time, definitely look up Charlie Sheen after getting fired from 2.5 Men. There's some pretty crazy stuff with him. Man's really, I hope he's good. I love the man. I mean, I know he's not a saint, but I love the man. So anyways, going back to Netflix TV shows, do you think it's more profitable for Netflix to just make their own TV shows or to just air other TV shows that they haven't created and just put it on their platform?
I feel like, I don't know, because, like, they start a show and then they don't continue it, so I feel like they're just losing money, you know? But, like, at the same time, I feel like making their own shows is better, even though it's not as good quality.
Right.
Like for example, with like Stranger Things, like that show like was really good, and everyone enjoyed it, and they still do, and they made a ton of money off of it. But like with other shows like Teenage Bounty Hunter, which they took off of Netflix, by the way, they just did not finish the season.
That's why I mean some TV shows they just completely cut it loose. Honestly, it could be due to like actors like quitting. If you're like lead roles like quit, I mean it's a sinking ship, budget cuts and everything.
It wasn't even any of that. I think they just didn't want to continue it.
They just didn't want to continue it. They just
Because everyone enjoyed it. I mean, I personally.
well, that doesn't
liked
make
it.
sense then. I mean that's just money like being flushed down the toilet.
Yeah, I know.
Like you can make money off that and you're just refusing. I mean I know like that's like saying EA is not putting any more microtransactions in any of their games.
Yeah, like the actors were good, and they just didn't want to continue it, I guess.
What the hell?
Yeah, it was a good show too. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, because based off the fact that they just like, they do one season and then they don't do another season, it's like, I don't know if they're making money or like losing money, you know?
Right. Like for me, like I am more of a Disney Plus / Hulu. Netflix is kind of like my third spot, though I have watched a lot of Netflix recently because of course, Lucifer.
Yep.
And I'm watching The Arrow, which is an amazing TV show. I'm very glad I got hooked into that. And for 8 seasons, that's not bad. That's like, if you make it past like 4 seasons, you know you have a good TV show.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. The one show I am looking forward to though, Stranger Things season 4.
Season 4? I thought that was already released.
No, not yet.
I've never
Season
even
3.
got into that, honestly.
Damn.
There's a lot of, here's the thing, like, I don't really get into Netflix original series. And, like, yeah, I watched Lucifer and Cobra Kai, but let's be honest, those weren't Netflix original series.
Yeah, no.
Lucifer was originally on Fox, and then, what was the other one I said?
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, that was on YouTube. And I don't even think that they think that was gonna really work out until everyone decided to love it. And then before like Disney Plus released, they had the Clone Wars on there after the TV show got canceled on Cartoon Network, and they put it on Netflix. So, and they called that original series because they released another season for it before a few years later until they revived it. So I feel like all the TV shows I like, they're kind of like on Netflix, and you can put like Netflix original series, but you can't fool me. I know where these shows were originally.
Yeah, like with Lucifer, it was on Fox, and then they were trying to cancel it several times, and then Netflix.
They definitely rebounded
Yeah.
with that show. I will be honest though, I do think Lucifer is much better on Netflix than it was Fox.
Yeah.
And here's the other
honestly,
thing as well.
yeah.
This is like another topic. TV is like slowly dying. Like with all these streaming services, you have Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO, Apple TV. You got Peacock. All these streaming services are starting to pop up now. And instead of like watching commercials, you could probably watch 1 or 2 ads, watch your TV show, and call it a day, you know? I mean, obviously, how would you feel about that?
Oh, just like.
Well, like,
Yeah.
we're now in an age now where TV's like slowly dying.
Yeah, I have seen that, like, because I personally don't even, like, watch TV anymore. I just go into, like, Netflix or Hulu. So it's like, do we really need streaming services like Spectrum and, like, I don't even know.
I do feel like it has its merits because for streaming, like if you get like TV streaming services, you pretty much get every channel.
Yeah,
And most like services now they have demand, which was something that was very unheard of. Like I still remember like my grandparents first had demand. And I was like, oh my God, this is like something I never thought I would see in my life. And then slowly every TV service started doing it now. I think every TV service has it now because they know that if they didn't have that, then they would really be screwed. But yeah, like I just feel like, and here's the other thing as well. It's like college students, we're not allowed to have our own routers. We're not allowed to have like cable. So it's pretty much Roku, Fire Stick. So it is pretty much streaming services because that's where we're getting everything. Though in my mind, I feel like it is worth still having live TV because you get to watch all these other channels. Football is easier to watch. You don't have to try to pirate stuff. So I do feel like eventually TV's not going to be like, unless they make changes to it. Like, that's the thing with technology. It's like, well, it's so much of a good thing for some people, it's really like killing the past a bit as well. So they gotta, it's like with shopping malls right now. I mean, I just found out today that the one shopping mall I went to is actually starting to close. Like, I think they just sold it immediately. Like, they put it on the market and they just sold it. So they kind of need to find something that's gonna bring people into TV again instead of streaming services, you know?
Yeah. I do feel like it is worthwhile to have TV, like streaming services, not streaming services, just like TV in general, like instead of just Hulu and Netflix, just like having like, you know, spectrum to like, if you don't know what to watch, there's always like channels.
It's
like,
pretty much window shopping.
Yeah, like, oh, this is on. I love this movie. Let's just watch it, you know?
Now that brings me into kind of the final thing we'll talk about. So on Disney Plus, this kind of goes along with Netflix. They release like their own TV shows and everything. I feel like Disney Plus has done a really good job with it, only because they have like the rights to Marvel, Star Wars, and all these different companies, and so they can make like tons of money off it. They can make their own TV shows, and they can say, okay, this is our original series, which makes sense. Now, when Black Widow released, Scarlett Johansson got ticked off at Disney because half her earnings were supposed to come from box office hits. Mm-hmm. Instead, they put it all on Disney Plus for people to watch. Do you think by like putting TV shows and just movies in general, that's also hurting movie theaters?
Yeah, I feel like with the Disney Plus, they should not put it on Disney Plus like before, like when the movie was released, they put it like immediately on Disney Plus. I feel like it should go to the movie theater and then like afterwards, like after it's in the theater, then go on Disney Plus, you know?
Right. I feel like movie theaters, like everyone's like saying that it's gonna die. I feel like it's got a little more time, and I feel like as long as movie theaters like start bringing more people in, like having new stuff, like better chairs and a better experience. Like I heard that just going to a movie, like the new Fast and Furious movie, I heard like you're not doing the movie any justice if you're just watching it on TV. You need to go in person, because when you're in a large theater with everyone, like the energy's alive, like the sound is bouncing off the walls. It actually feels like you're in the film. So I feel like they're not gonna die, but at the same time, I agree with you. I feel like if for streaming platforms, if they're releasing their own films, they should put them in movie theaters. And I think they're doing that with Shang-Chi. Okay, and then they're gonna put it on Disney Plus. So I think that would make sense, because I feel like they make more money that way. Because if they put it on their streaming service, they're only getting, like that's just gonna be free for everyone. Like the only way you're getting paid for that is by subscriptions. And that's why they're kind of raising it. Like it started off with like $5 on Disney Plus when it first dropped, because they didn't think it was gonna be so successful. And now it's like $12 a month, which is crazy.
Yeah, like I have Disney Plus and it's like, yeah, I think it went from like 5 to like 12 because
5 to 7. It like went through a lot of changes, and a lot of streaming services are doing that as well, because like if you have a good TV show on there, then you're gonna definitely want to milk the economy out of all of its cash.
Yeah, like also they make their money off of just like people renting and buying the movie on your TV, but then it's like, do we think DVD players are gonna like not?
I feel like that's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Now I believe malls and movie theaters, like they still got a bit of time. I mean, and they're not gonna fully go away. I mean, look at drive-ins. I mean, those are like really old, and I mean, there's not that many still, and they're not common, but you can still go to them. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be open one way or another. But DVD players, like they're gonna be gone. I mean, VHS, like pretty much anything like radio players, you're kind of in the water there. And I feel like that's the one thing that I wouldn't really be too impacted by, but. So, anyways,
Yeah.
to finish off, what would you say be your top like 3 streaming services in order and why?
Ooh,
Or like your favorite, here, better yet, instead of why, what's your top 3 in order, and for each streaming service, you give your favorite TV show on there.
okay. I would say Netflix, probably the first one.
I'm gonna
And
guess
yeah.
Lucifer.
Yeah, Lucifer. As of right now. Hulu, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
99!
99. And then Disney Plus, and I would probably have to say, I'm not even sure I have a favorite show on there. It's just Marvel. I would say Marvel in general.
Marvel. I would say for me, honestly, I'd take it back. I would say Netflix would be my second choice. Third would be Hulu, and I think it would be. I'm trying to watch Scrubs right now. I haven't gotten into it recently. I did watch How I Met Your Mother.
Ooh, yes. Yep.
That's okay. Before I even go any further, How I Met Your Mother was a good season until the finale of season 9. Season 9 was a good. Season 9 was a great season until that finale. They completely just dropped the ball.
I know.
They didn't even drop the ball. Like, that ball's inflated after that.
No.
You took 9 years. You spent an entire season on Robin and Barney getting married,
Yeah.
and they get divorced just for Ted to go in after they introduced his wife and they killed her off. You can't just do that.
I know. It's
That's-
so upsetting.
I love the TV show. And I don't even think I could watch it just knowing that ending, because the ending is just so bad.
Yeah.
It's unbearable to watch. Anyways, Netflix, it would have to be, it's a tie between Arrow or Lucifer. I just love both of them. And then Disney Plus, my first choice, which is surprising. And I would say The Mandalorian. So that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all for watching, and good night. God bless.
Saw you waving.
I
was
saw
like,
you
"Come
waving,
on."
but I was like,
To wrap it up, oh shit.
you can't just wrap it up when you're in mid-conversation.